I am back for another episode, and I am back from my trip. If you didn't watch last week's episode, definitely make sure to go check it out. It's on a very good topic. We talk about bullying, but I was traveling. I was in Canada. I went to go visit my friend, and now I'm back. I'm back in college. It was honestly such a short week. On Monday, they announced a snowstorm. So Monday night, I slept over at my friend's house. And then Tuesday, we had like a little snow day. So we just spent the whole day doing classes online and WebEx. And then Wednesday, I just kind of did a lot of work. So that went by really quickly. And today is Thursday. I'm filming on a Thursday. My little sister is arriving tonight. Have to go pick her up in like an hour at the airport. I am so happy that she's coming. I have not seen her in like 2 months, and I really miss her. She's coming for President's Weekend, so she's staying until Monday night, which is going to be really fun. I have a lot of like fun things planned for her while she's here, and honestly, just hanging out with her is going to be so much fun. But I feel like I skipped like a step. If you're new here, hi, my name is Gabriela, and yeah, welcome back to Don't Quote Me on That, guys. Today we're going to talk about college, because I know that a lot of you, if you're like a senior or a junior, you're either getting like college acceptance letters back and you're like figuring out where you're going to go to college in the fall if you're a senior. But if you're a junior, you're also starting to apply to college in the fall. So I know that it's a little like far away for juniors, but for the seniors, you're going to start picking where to go to college. And I'm graduating soon, so I was feeling a little nostalgic. So obviously this episode belongs to the school category. And I'm just going to give you guys like a few little pieces of advice for applying to college, picking the right school for you. So like, how do you find the right school for you? Because that is something that I always asked myself. I was like, where am I going to go? Like wherever you go to college is so important, and it's where you're going to form yourself career wise. So it's always very like stressful just being like, am I making the right decision? Am I picking the right place? So I'm just going to tell you guys a couple of the things that I did when I was applying to college, sort of like the process that I went through for picking the right school, because I definitely feel like I do go to the right school for me. So I'm just going to share with you guys how I picked that. So let's talk about it. Woo!
Good morning. Can you talk? I really need coffee. I'm so stressed. I was up studying. I'm gonna be late to class. I'll call you later. I just want to be lazy right now. I should probably go to the gym. I'm hungry. Want to hang out? I don't know anyone going tonight. I'm kind of freaking out. Does this look good? It's gonna be so much fun though. I can't wait. And yeah, that's what I would do. Just don't quote me on that.
College was something that always scared me. It was always so scary. And I'm definitely going to do another topic on like school anxiety and like how stressful it can be applying to college. So we're not going to talk about the stress of applying to college, but it is something that is very stressful. And I feel like a lot of the times it's very stressful because we're just like, where the hell am I going to go to college? Like, am I picking the right career? Am I picking the right school? Like, is this going to be a good fit for me? Am I going to want to transfer later or not? So it is a very hard thing to do. There's a lot of pressure that we put on ourselves, that our school puts on ourselves, that our family and parents put on ourselves. So when I was applying to college, obviously I have very big dreams and very big goals, and I've always been a very ambitious person. So I wanted to go to like the best schools. And you always have, if you're like applying to college, you know this, you always have like your reach schools, which are like the schools that you're like aiming for, which could be like out of your reach, but you're still applying and like shooting for the stars. So you have your reach schools, and then you have your, I don't know what it's called, but like the middle ones where it's like, you're going to get in basically. And then you have your like backup safety schools, which are like easy schools that you like 100% know you can get into. And those are like your backup plan basically. And obviously we all want to go to like the best school that we can, given the things that we can afford and given how well we're doing on school or not. But we all want to do our best. But the best is very subjective. And this is something that I think is very, very important when you're applying to school, when you're picking a school. Don't go for the school that is just has like a popular name. There's a bunch of schools that we all know, Harvard, Yale, very reputable schools, just schools with a very popular name. Those are very good schools. I'm not saying they're not really good schools. Those are amazing schools, and they're very big, popular, renowned names because they are very good schools. So I'm not saying they're not good schools. What I'm saying is don't apply to a school that is very popular, or that when you say like, I go to Harvard, everyone's going to think like, wow, this guy went to Harvard. Don't apply to those schools just because of that. Apply to the best school for whatever you want to do. Because if you're a fashion major, going to Harvard is not the best school. Harvard is a really good school, but it's not the best school for fashion. So don't even start asking yourself like, where should I go to college? Ask yourself, what do I want to do? What do I want to be when I'm older? Like, what job do I want to have after college? Once you answer that question, you have to work backwards. Once you answer the question, what do I want to do after college? Then you answer the question, what career do I need to study to get that job or to do that thing that I want to do when I'm older? And after you find the career, you find the best school for that career. Not the best school in the country, not the best school in your state or hometown, the best school for your career. And that looks very, very different for the various careers that there is. So that is like the first thing that I would advise for you to do when you're picking. Pick the best one for whatever it is that you're doing. Don't let a very flashy name like make you feel, I don't know, bad that you're not going to like a top ranked school. If it is the best for what you want to do, then go for it. And that's what I ended up doing. I wanted to study entrepreneurship, which is learning how to start your own business and build it from the ground up and having a startup. I wanted to do that. And the number one school for entrepreneurship is Babson. So that's why I applied there. I could have applied to a different school, and a school that probably has like a better name than Babson, I guess. But Babson is the number one for entrepreneurship. And that's what I wanted to do. So go for whatever it is the best for what you want to do. And not to give you more anxiety, but it is a place that you're going to spend the next 4 years in. I did college in 3, so I only spent 3 years here. But if you do college in 4, it is the place that you're going to spend the next 4 years in. So it's important that you like it. Not that your parents like it, not that it's a really good school and everybody's just going to think that you're so cool and awesome for going there. No. You're going to spend 4 years there. Like, you better make sure that you like it. And if you go to a school and you don't like it, then you can think about transferring. But let's just focus on like applying and getting there. Make sure you like it and write a list. Write a list of requirements that you have for college and that you have for your school. Me, for example, I wanted to have a school with a campus. I always wanted to have a school with a campus. I thought it was very beautiful and very pretty, and I just prefer that. So schools with no campus, even though they're really good schools, were off my list. NYU, off the list because it didn't have a campus. And for me, it was very important to have a campus. So that's something. I did not want a school with a big Greek life. And for those of you who don't know what Greek life is, that is fraternities and sororities and those like things that you see in movies, like the houses where they throw parties. I did not want a school with a very big Greek life because I did not want to be a part of a sorority. So I just didn't apply to those schools. And there's schools that are popular for having very big fraternities and sororities. I didn't want that. So those were off my list. I also didn't want a big school. Like, I didn't want a school with like hundreds and thousands of students, and I didn't want to feel like just like another number in the crowd. Like, I wanted to have more like close and personal, deep relationships with my teachers, with my classmates. So I wanted a smaller school. And just like that, you start making your list of requirements, and then you're going to have a huge list of schools that you want to go to, schools that are really good, whether they're your reach or your comfort or your safety schools, whatever school type there is, you're going to have a huge, huge list. And then you can start narrowing that list based on the requirements that you wrote before. But have those clear, make sure that that list really speaks to you, that it's not influenced by anything else, because it is 4 years that you're going to spend there. They are 4 important years of your life where you're going to be learning a lot of things, but you're also going to be meeting a lot of people. So also kind of focus on like the type of people that go to those schools. If you want to be a very ambitious person, well, go to a school where you're going to surround yourself with very ambitious people. If you don't really care about school, then apply to a school that cares more about like partying or things like that. Whatever it is that you make that list out of, make sure they're things that you genuinely enjoy, things that are going to make you happy for those next 4 years. This is also something that I didn't do, but I think you guys should definitely do it. Tour the school. Like, I'm lucky because I love Babson and I think the campus is absolutely beautiful. So I got lucky, but I didn't visit Babson until after I got in. And I did apply during COVID times. So for me, it's a little bit different. That's why we couldn't like travel to like a bunch of different schools and tour them. But I would recommend that you definitely tour the school, that you get like a vibe, a sense of it. Like I said, I really just like lucked out, but I wish that, and I do recommend that you like tour schools if you can. So after you do like all of those things, you visit the school, you set your like standards for the school, you found the best ones for the career that you want to go into, you're going to come down to like 3 or 2 schools that you're like highly debating between. And that happened to me. I got stuck between 3. There was 3 that I was looking at and I was like, what do I do? And this is the hardest part because it's a life-altering decision, literally. Like if you go left, well, your life is going to look very different than if you go right. So that's why it's very scary. It's very nerve-wracking. But take a deep breath. It's fine. And you're going to find the right school. And you're going to end up exactly where you're supposed to end up. So try not to stress as much as you can. But I know how stressful it is. So it's going to be very hard for you not to get stressed because it is a very important decision that you have to make. But deep down inside you, you will find the answer. Once you narrow it down to like those 2 schools that you're debating between, if you really need to, make a pros and cons list. I'm not kidding. I made a pros and cons list. I was debating between Babson and Northeastern. I was debating between the 2, and I made a list of pros and cons between the 2, and Babson ended up having, I think, like more pros or like less cons, whichever of the 2. So that's why I went with that one. And I just had like a gut feeling. I was like, yeah, that's where I'm supposed to go. But I feel like you do get that gut feeling. You do have like a sense that one place is more important and you're supposed to be there more than the other. It also does depend person to person because some people apply to school early decision. I applied to college early decision. So when I applied to Babson and I got in, that was it. And I was done with the application process. Like that was it. But if you're applying regular admission and you have multiple acceptances and you're debating between these 2, once you do go with one school and once you do pick that school, don't try to think of like, okay, but what if I would have picked the other one? Because you will drive yourself crazy. You will drive yourself crazy if you ask yourself all the time, okay, but what if I would have gone to the other place? Like, what if? And maybe you go to college and your first semester is really hard. So then you're asking yourself even more, like, is that the right decision? Or should I make that decision? Like, if your gut went with that decision and that's the school that you picked, I'm sure it's for a reason. But of course, there's different scenarios if like later on there's transferring or things like that. But follow your gut. Follow your gut. I know that it's a scary decision, but your gut is gonna have it. But those are things that do help to narrow it down, at least to bring it down to 2 or 3 final schools by just making that list. Make a list of standards for the school, basically. Like if you were going to date them, have a list of standards. And if they're not meeting the standards, then chop it off. And there's something else that I kind of want to admit, but also encourage you guys not to do. Obviously, applying to college, like we've established, is very terrifying. And some of us, aka me, some of us are very scared of rejections. and very scared of like shooting for something that seems impossible because you're very scared that it's not going to work out and that you're going to like be sad if it doesn't work out. So I applied to Babson because of all the reasons I mentioned, it being number one in entrepreneurship. Right now, it's like the 10th best college in the US. And I do genuinely think that it was the best place. And I did end up at the right place. But I did apply to Babson kind of knowing that I was going to get in. And I knew I was going to get in because I knew I had the grades for it, because I knew I had the right essay for it, because I knew that, you know, like I just knew I was going to get in. It wasn't like a reach school. It also wasn't like a safety school. It was just like I knew that I was going to get in. But I definitely could have applied to other schools. I do think that I didn't for a reason, and that everything happens for a reason. And I do think that I made the right choice. But don't be scared to apply to a school that you don't think you're going to get into. Don't be scared to do it because you never know. What if you do? What if that school that has a really, really low acceptance rate and it's really hard to get into, or they have a really good sports program and you really want to be there, but you're scared that they're not going to take you in or that you're not going to get recruited, whatever the scenario may be. I know that it's very scary and that sometimes we don't want to shoot and go for things because we don't want to fall back down and like hit our face flat on the ground where they reject us. But just apply. Just apply. The worst thing that can happen is that they say no. But don't hold yourself back just because you're scared of that rejection, or because you're scared of embarrassing yourself, or because you're scared you're not going to feel good if they don't let you into the sports program. Don't let that fear stop you from applying to a school that could actually take you in, and it could be the best decision of your life and you would have the best 4 years of your life. So don't hold yourself back at all. For any reason, just go for it. Aim for it. Aim for your dreams. Aim for your dream school. Aim for everything that you want to accomplish. Go for it. Don't let that fear hold you back because it's not worth it. Even if they tell you you're not going to get in, even if they tell you you don't have the grades for it, just try. Try, apply, and at least you'll have the satisfaction of knowing that you tried. You won't have the regret of what if I would have tried. At least you can walk like out with your chin up saying, I tried, I didn't get in, but there's nothing wrong with that. If you didn't get in, it's for a reason. You weren't supposed to be there. Which brings me to the last point that I wanted to make. If you got rejected by school, don't take it as a personal rejection. Don't take it as a, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I didn't work harder, and I should have done better. You tried your hardest and you didn't get in for a reason. And that reason is just simply because you're not supposed to be there. You think that it's an amazing school and you would have loved to be there, but they didn't accept you for a reason. It's because you're supposed to be somewhere else, and somewhere else is the right place for you to be. So don't take it as a personal rejection, and don't be scared to apply. Again, like just aim for that school, shoot for it, and just take it a go. So for all my seniors who already applied and are getting decision letters back and have to figure out where the hell they're going to go to, I hope that that helped a little. I hope that it gave you a little bit of guidance. At least those are the things that I did, of like narrowing it down. That's how, from all the hundreds and hundreds of schools that are out there, that is how I narrow it down to Babson. But those are also like little things that I do wish I would have done differently and that I do think are very important. So I hope that it helped. I hope that you guys can narrow it down, listen to your gut, follow your feeling, go for the stars, and don't be scared. Don't be scared. They're going to be very, very fun years. College is a very fun experience. You get to learn so much, both about the world, about academics, but also about yourself, also about how to be an adult. And it shows you a lot about your place in this world. I feel like it's 4 years of a lot of transformative growth, but they are hands down some of the most fun years that you're going to have. So enjoy them while you can, because my time in college is running out and I'm feeling very nostalgic about it. I'm very scared, but also excited. Speaking of fear and not letting things scare us, the real world is scary. So enjoy college and you're going to end up where you're supposed to. I promise. And I'm excited for you to go there. I'm excited for you to start school. I'm excited for you to accept and say yes to the school. Say yes to the dress. Say yes to the school. I'm driving myself crazy over here. Okay, well, it is time for me to go pick up my little sister from the airport. And this is what this vlog for this week has been. This week, the vlog was just like a little bit of everything, a little bit of the snowcation I had, a little bit of the week just doing work and studying, and now a little bit of the weekend with my sister. Tomorrow's Friday. Tomorrow, some friends are coming over, and then we're going to go out with my sister, and she's going to meet all of my friends. So that's going to be very exciting. I'm going to try vlogging as much of that as I can, and I hope you guys have a really good week. I will see you guys next Sunday for another episode, another catching up, another good time together. And sleep well. Go to bed early. Bye.